Hello and welcome everyone. Jay Fazette here, and we are at show number 47 of the JVology show. And I have with me today my dear friend James Lam. How are you today, James?
I'm great. Lucky to be number 47.
Exactly. And by the way, I just to be clear about this, I'm apparently getting old and can't see. It's show 49. For crying out loud. But by the way, I have perfect timing, which is to ask you a question right when you're sipping coffee. I learned that while I was a waiter.
It's a skill. Everybody's got a skill somehow, Jay.
Yes, exactly right. So a couple of things, gang. First and foremost is this. I want to welcome you to the JVology show. And for those of you who do not know, I'll give you a bit of a rundown before we dive on in. The first thing is that this show is designed to feature JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit, community members to other people in the community and to the world. So we select brilliant people like James who have amazing businesses that can serve and support you to figure out how to, in our world, solve the problems of the small business and the entrepreneur. And those problems are, everything from getting leads, creating income, developing partnerships, providing broader services and experiences to our clients, dealing with things like a global pandemic, all of the above. So a couple of things about this while you're watching is that we would love for you to come over to what we call the broadcast page. And that broadcast page is where you can actually chat, you can ask questions, we can interact, all the rest of it. And how you do that is you click on the video button, or you click on the little J Fazette above there, and it will take you over to the broadcast page. And then say hello, tell us where you're from. That would be awesome. Just to let you know, JVology provides a variety of different products, services, and experiences to help entrepreneurs position joint ventures. We do live events. We've got a live event coming up June 12th to the 14th online, comfort of your own home. We do Facebook challenges to teach the fundamentals of joint ventures. We do done-for-you services, pretty much the whole shebang when it comes to figuring out how to do joint ventures. Now, in a moment or two, what's going to happen is we are going to find out from James about his company, which is called Look Ahead Marketing. And if you see the acronym for his last name, it seems quite appropriate. But I'm going to play for us, first and foremost, our little video, and then we're going to get on with the show. All right, James. So let us start with you giving us the 5,000-foot view of who you are and who you serve and all the fun, wonderful things.
Sure, Jay. So I work with passionate business owners who have ineffective marketing in a sense. So what I do is I take them on a step-by-step digital marketing course that teaches them not only how to do it, but also the strategy, gets their product in front of the right people, and puts the fun back into the business. Because let's face it, a lot of business owners start, they realize how difficult things are, and they actually don't have any fun anymore. It becomes a drag instead of having fun.
Well, that is an understatement of the universe. So how did you come? How did you come to work in this domain and serving entrepreneurs and all that fun stuff? What was the journey that drew you to, let's call it, the pain and passion of entrepreneurship?
Yes. Well, Jay, it's a long story, and it started about 2 months ago when this funny event called JVology Live that you might have heard about at one point in time in San Francisco, San Diego. That's it. I don't know where to start. Look, folks, at the end of the day, when I went to JVology Live, I knew I wanted to look for something. And I knew I was really quite unhappy with where I was. So just some background. At the time, I owned a boutique marketing studio or marketing firm. I do not have that firm anymore as of 6 days ago. So since that time, there's been a lot of changes. But being at that room was an amazing experience because what it taught me is two things. First of all, the caliber of the people and the earnings of the people. And second of all, how open they were to helping. And I knew I had to be part of it. Jay, I remember, and you may remember this, it was the first question I ever asked on stage. There were 6 or 7 people up there, including Matthew McGregor. I remember that because he's all of 21 years old, and I want to be him, and I want to have his knees too, right? But I said I wanted to be part of that group. And the where I was, there was no way I would have to do it. So I wanted to be part of this community, and this is my offering to that community.
That is beautiful. I love that. So just a little sidebar to that. When both you and I wanted to be Matthew McGregor, I think particularly when we were 21. He's the only 21-year-old I know with a tax problem. It's like, good Lord, that's a good problem to have. That is very cool. All right. So let's talk a little bit about how you serve your clients, the difference that you make. How does that work primarily? What's like the sweet spot that you love the most?
Okay. Here's a question. I know I can't see you, but if you're watching from the screen, hands up if you've had a business. Hands up if you've ever had a business that lost money. Hands up if you've ever had a lost business that lost money all the time and you panicked about what to do. And that's the space I came from. So about 9 years ago, I started a little company called Learn Photography Canada. We're now in 10 locations with hundreds of students and I think 30 staff. It doesn't matter how big it is. The point is that a long time ago, I started it, and I remember, Jay, we were losing thousands of dollars a month and ads and everything like that. And I hired a marketing firm, and that marketing firm looked me right in the eye and said, "We know what we're doing." And it was $3,500 a month, and they basically said, "We promise we can turn you around." Well, it's empty promises, right? And that is the challenge. And I see so many people, and the challenge there is the marketing. And what happens is you go into a business because you're passionate about it, and you lose the passion the minute that things get too hard. You don't have enough clients, right? You develop this great website, this great product, but you don't have it. And that's so where the boutique marketing firm came from. And that's where this is coming from. At the end of the day, this course is everything that I know in 15 years. So I've divided into 3 sections: leads, conversions, resales, right? Because let's face it, revenue is just what? Leads times conversion. That's all that is. You can dress it up all you want, but you have to have a number of leads times your conversion, and that equals your sales. And so I want to put the power back into the business owner, because I know a lot of marketing agencies, they say, you need to be on Twitter, you need to be on Pinterest. You know, if you're an accountant, you need to be on Instagram. Guess what, folks? If you're an accountant, you probably don't need to be on Instagram. So, you know, we need to be able to put the power back into the entrepreneur's hands, and that's essentially what I've done. So I've taught you everything I know, not you, but the course is everything I know, and the goal here is to put the power back into the small business owner's hands.
Well, and here's what I love about this is, and I'm just, by the way, I posted your link, and I'm just bringing up your page here as well at the same time. Here's what I love about this is that
don't look for Virgil, by the way. I haven't proofread that. This is the problem with starting a business 2 months ago, is that it's not perfect. It's pretty close anyway.
Here's the honest God truth of it is that I have this belief, which is if you can only spell a word one way, you're just not that creative. But on a serious note is that what I love about this is that it isn't tactic specific. You know, this idea of leads, conversions, resales, that is the process that all businesses must master. And there are different tactics, different strategies, different environments that are better for different businesses. I mean, I still have not, I've gotten better with Instagram. Like I now know what it is. And I think I have 14 followers instead of 9.
That's a 50% growth, Joe J. That's great.
In all seriousness, I think we're around 1,600 or something like that, but I'm a little clueless about it. But it speaks to the heart of this idea that every one of us as entrepreneurs should be somewhat, let's say, cautious, perhaps downright skeptical, if our consultant has a one-size-fits-all approach for entrepreneurs. We must go broader and figure out what is that pathway for us, because the one-size-fits-all just doesn't really work too much. Let's be frank.
Yeah.
So talk to us about leads, conversions, and resales, and the opportunity that transpires there. Because I am kind of curious about, in terms of your agency, do you have a favorite process or a platform you like best, or a client you like serving most?
I like serving the small business, to be honest. And so this is an interesting thing, because when I went into the space, and I know I'm going to do, essentially just so everybody knows, the front door is actually, oh, hi, Megan. The front door is actually a free webinar, and the free webinar is entitled Everything You Wanted to Know But Were Too Afraid to Ask About Facebook Advertising. And the entire idea is that it really speaks to the heart of small business owners and entrepreneurs that are struggling and don't know what to do, and are kind of embarrassed to speak more about it. So the entire idea is that, I really want to help people who who know they need this help. And let's face it, small businesses are failing left, right, and center. And a lot of times it's because at the end of the day, why are they failing? It's typically not because of the product. It's typically not because of their operations. It's typically not passion. It's because they don't have enough money flowing through the door. It's usually not an accounting problem. Accounting is great, but if you have $0 coming through the door, there's only so much accounting you can do with that, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, sorry, you asked the second part of that question. I'm gonna just rudely interrupt. One of the things I like, and so this course, I put everything that I know into it. One of the cool things that I personally love about it, and I talk about it in kind of a document, is so a lot of the times, when do we say we market? We need to, let's say we do business consulting, business coaching. Okay. Where's the instantaneous place where people go, I'm gonna, you know what, Jay, I'm gonna go on Google Ads, and when people search on business coaching, guess what? I'm gonna come up there first, and everybody's gonna find me right away. It doesn't happen like that, right? Essentially, you need to get in front of the clients during their consideration phase and before they even know they want you as a client. And that's one of the coolest things I teach, and I love it, right? So a lot of people, they try to advertise at the purchase stage when all the decision and all the research has been done. We put you forward, we bring you back to an audience that, you know what, quite frankly, is perfect for your product, but doesn't even know they're perfect for your product, and we put you in front of them.
So talk to me about that, because it's funny you say that, because I think two things happen in that domain. So one of which is that people are trying to intersect the purchase. The other thing that I think is interesting is that, and I think this is the other side of this same coin that we're talking about. The other thing that happens is that while people are still in the early research stages, people are like pitching like madmen and trying to. It's like, and this sounds counterintuitive, but one of the things that I say to people all the time is like, slow the hell down. Let me ask. Do not start pitching me your shit when I don't even know if I like you. So this whole thing about moving that process back, it gives me an opportunity to know you, to like you, to get a sense of you, to say, I'm attracted to that approach. So can you talk to me more about that?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jay. So there's a few points you've made in there. I'll address two of them. One of them is the fact that when we tend to pitch, companies tend to pitch from a really me perspective, as in my product. My product has A, B, C, D feature, and a lot of times you don't even know what that is, right? The smart brands, if you ever read Mr. Donald Miller's book, and Lord knows I'm going to do a podcast, as you know, Jay, and I'd love to have him on the show. And if I've had him on the show, I think I've made it. Anyway, that's not the point. But
just to be clear, so Donald spoke at a mastermind that I was a member of, and they brought a ton. It was Jeff Walker's Platinum Plus Mastermind, and they brought a ton of brilliant speakers in. And honest to goodness, Donald, absolute favorite. He is freaking brilliant.
Amazing, right? And my wife introduced me to Donald Miller. Anyways, not as in the book. But what I was saying is we tend to pitch on a really feature-laden perspective. What we actually should do is we should actually pitch to the person on their ethics, on their values, right? So if I was doing the pitch, let's say I did do the business coaching, I would talk about my experience in turning someone's life around. I would talk about my experience of how we talk about your soul, how we talk about what values the most to you, what motivates you before actually making the pitch. One of the challenges that we do is that we tend to go in and say, the only thing they're worried about price. Maybe if you're at the very end, Google Ads, right? Then you're worried about price. But, we need to build that value system in. Now, getting in front of people before they're even aware is one of my favorite things to do. It's worked so well in the past. And some of you know this is the lookalike audience based on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter, to a lesser extent, Facebook more. But the entire idea, this is really cool, guys. So here's your $10,000 idea of the day. Awesome. You take your customer list, you put into Facebook, you say, I want a lookalike audience of 1% that looks like the top 1%. And Facebook goes through their 4,000 demographics, they put it all together, and they push it out to these people. And the neat thing about it is that what you're going to notice is these people are going to be so similar to the customer list, but they probably haven't purchased. You are getting in front of exactly the right customer. Now, one of the neat things, sorry, I know I'm talking a lot. Let me give you one case study.
I love it. And just to be clear about this, lookalike audiences, and I'm not a huge social media fan, but I'm on Facebook for the express purpose of utilizing Facebook to reach people, because whether you recognize or not, Facebook has more data about the people you want to reach than any other location. And fundamentally, you can get it for free. Like for free, all you got to do is spend a couple of bucks in ads. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, carry on. Because sometimes people miss that very important little bridge.
No, it's a good point, and I'll give you an example, Jay, just to further your point. So there's two ways to market. There's two ways to demographics. One of them is the lookalike audience we just spoke. The other one is doing a demographic. So if I was a winemaker, I'd look for like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Spanish wine, Rioja, whatever it is. And you think this is amazing. Pardon?
I'd look for red. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
But what we do is we think this is amazing. I have the exact person, and so we always compare them, and it doesn't always work. This works sort of 90% of the time. But we used to buy likes for Sporting League, and the likes we were coming in about 52, 53 cents a like, which is actually pretty darn good. Okay. When you plug it into a lookalike on it's exactly the same ad, it came down to about 12 or 13 cents a like. That is fantastic. It is 500 times better than the demographic. The demographics were doing darn well as well, right? The other neat thing you can do is, for those of you who are still watching and haven't glazed over, you can actually create a funnel on Facebook. So if you think about it, normally emails, how do you work it? You work it in Infusionsoft or ClickFunnels by someone signs up, you deliver 5 or 6 different emails down the track, and hopefully they open each one, right? Here, why don't you do it so that if they see an ad, they see an ad, deliver the next ad. And those subset who have seen this ad, deliver the next ad. There's a little bit of information going on where some people actually do ads to emails to webinars and then convert, and that's what I'm planning to do. But some people actually just take the entire webinar, they put it on Facebook, and then people who watch more than 80%, they remarket to those people, and then they do another ad and so on and so forth. So neat stuff coming out of there.
Yeah, phenomenal. And we have really, I would say, upped our game in terms of the retargeting piece based on content, what we called micro content ads. So it wasn't like the full webinar. It was just like micro content, anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes. And people who got more than halfway through, then we would target them again for our live events and for our programs. And that has been highly successul as well. Very cool. All right, so thank you for the $10,000 idea.
Sorry, just going to add one more thing, Jay, because I haven't talked enough already. But think about how important what we just talked about is for the small business owner.
Yeah.
Think about the photographer. If you have a photographer, they're just starting out, how much is their ad budget, Jay? $300, $500 a month? That's a lot.
Yeah.
Right? Think about the ability to get to people who are engaged for wedding photography and then remarket to those people over and over again. Amazing power, right?
It is truly astounding. Just a little plug here. There's a gentleman who's in our community named Patty, who I'm going to introduce you to. He will be at JVology Live coming up in June, and I'll make sure that you guys connect. But he has actually created one of the world's first pixel remarketing, retargeting exchanges. So there's even an opportunity of, if somebody has a great pixel list and all of those pieces that they're willing to share, and we match the upstream and the downstream, that is a powerful way to leverage that.
That's like cheating, but all in the best kinds of way.
Yes, and it's really phenomenal. All right, I'm just making sure I've got everything here. Give me 1 second. So tell me a little bit more about the JV offer and how people could participate playing with you in terms of the course and all of those pieces.
Yes, I'm doing a launch on May 27th, which I'm super excited about and super nervous about, to be honest. So let me give you I don't want to call it a pitch. I learned that in the last thing, so I will give you the offer. I work with passionate business owners who have ineffective marketing by taking them on a step-by-step digital marketing and strategy and execution course that gets their company in front of the right people and brings back the dream of having a small business. Now, I'm looking to joint venture with people who have lists of entrepreneurs or small business owners. I'm talking about like the healer that doesn't have enough business, or the florist who's watched their sales drop precipitously to supermarkets. My offer is to invite them to my launch, which is, again, in my world, a giant thing, May 27th. We'll complete a complimentary webinar, everything you wanted to know, but were too afraid to ask about Facebook advertising. Again, it's some of the best stuff that I know over 15 years. And if they just leave with that, that's totally good, no problem. But there from launch, they'll have an opportunity to buy the full course, leads, conversions, resales. Regularly, it's $1,500. At launch is 50%, and you receive 50% of commission from signing that up.
That's awesome.
And on top of that, just to make sure so you know I take care of your tribe, because I know it's so important, I'm also offering an extra 20-minute session to the first 50 people who sign up. So, you know, tribe, one of the beautiful things I've loved about this is as I love your ability to help. I'm asking for help, and if you want to reach out anytime, I'm thrilled to receive that for sure.
That would be absolutely awesome. And the link is in the chat. I put it at the beginning of our interview. I'm just going to put it here again at the bottom. Hello, Paige Stevenson. Good to see you.
Hi, Paige.
There we go. Yeah, you guys. Oh, yeah, you guys got to meet in San Diego.
Yeah, she was actually quite instrumental in me doing this, believe it or not. So I'm glad she's here.
Awesome. Yes.
I asked her.
Ex-Calgarian.
She said, James, you know deep in your heart. And I said, I don't know what that is, Paige. Help me. And we had a long conversation. So it was nice to see her here too.
She's a sweetheart. Ex-Calgarian, moved to Vancouver, and then we got to hang out in San Diego, which is often how it goes in terms of travel and all of those pieces. So here's the page. All they need to do is click the link. Once they get here, down below, I believe, is our spot for them to get signed up, and away they go.
That's exactly right. So if you sign up there, then you automatically get an email. I will send out all the swipe copy you need later on this week, maybe even next week, but probably later on this week. And look, folks, I'm new to this. I would really appreciate help. You know, Jay knows we're doing a webinar or a podcast at some point in time, and I'd love to repay that favor.
That would be awesome. And just tell us a little bit about the podcast. Is the podcast going to be aimed at the big picture of digital marketing? Or are you going to really focus on the leads, conversion, and resales? Where did you land for your podcast? And just a little sidebar to this is just a little plug for our JVology community. We are really blessed to have two of the leading podcast trainers in the world, in the community, who are leading a course just for us that they have gifted, and we're all going like mad to get our podcast up and running. So what's yours going to be? Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, it's a good question, and just a plug for them as well. It's an amazing course. They've done a great job. If you ever design your own artwork, make sure you use big font. I think that's the one thing they continually say. Anyways, my podcast is going to be on business, but instead I'm actually interviewing really interesting people. And every podcast we talk about 3 things that are concrete, that are practical, that you can do today to improve either the business owner or the business.
Nice.
So if we were talking to somebody like a mindset coach, maybe we would talk about confirmations in the morning, or writing your goals down, or using NLP and using the power of your unconscious to help you out. So all these things. Every time we talk about 3 concrete things. And Jay, you don't know this, but I'm going to definitely hit you up for a podcast. You better come up with those 3 things for joint ventures.
that one won't be tough. That one will not be tough at all.
Only awesome. 3 though, Jay. Only 3.
Yeah, that part might be tough. We'll have to prune, but I'm totally open to pruning. All right. Well, a couple of things then that I want to just wrap up on, which is this: is that if you require assistance in terms of Facebook marketing, if you require assistance in terms of retargeting, any of those things, for goodness sakes, reach out to James. He'll take great care of you and all of those pieces. If you have a tribe that is looking for support in that domain, then of course you should become an affiliate. And let me get your page up. Come on, I'm still getting used to these 2 screens. I'm perpetually looking for my damn mouse. Then just go to the link that is on the bottom of the screen and over in the chat window, of course. And you can go there, check it out, become an affiliate, and create great, number 1, results and service for your tribe and income for you, and build a great relationship with James, who will, of course, take great care of you. So for me, I think we're in pretty good shape. I got to do a couple of announcements, which I just want to recap for everyone, which is this. You did our last challenge, didn't you, James?
Yes,
Facebook. And do me a favor before I actually tell people about it. What was your experience of participating in? And we call it the 5 partners in 5 days JV Jumpstart. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was amazing, and I love the way you sequenced the questions. So the end result, though, because I know that's what you're looking for, I think by the end, I think I have about 22 joint ventures
from the challenge.
From the challenge. So exactly, and everybody, and get this, I've had I think 20, probably 24, 25 calls scheduled on Zoom as a Zoom meeting.
Yeah,
not one has not shown up. Everybody has shown up and on time, which is amazing.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to put on that from the 5-day challenge. So to put that in perspective, it's a 5-day free Facebook challenge. You get it's a little mini course. You do the video, you do a little worksheet, you come to the Facebook group, you make a post, and in the Facebook group, you connect with a bunch of people. And we say, if you do all of those pieces, you will absolutely get 5 partners in 5 days. Or you could get 22 joint venture partners. I think Kimberly Hobscheid said that she had 36 calls. I don't know how many of those turned into partners, so I can't speak to that exactly. But here's the point. If being a part of a joint venture community and an entrepreneurial community of just damn good people appeals to you, you should 100% jump in and get the and participate. By the way, I got distracted because I wanted to show Corey's note.
Good to meet you, Corey.
And by the way, for those of you who don't know, like all 3 of us are Calgarians, but we actually didn't. Well, obviously Corey and I, my dear wife, we spend more time together, but we got to hang out in San Diego. But anyway, going back to this piece is that we guarantee that you'll get 5 partners if you do all of those pieces. All you have to do is show up, and it's an opportunity for us to live one of our core values, which is a joint venture is a game of I'll go first. So from our perspective, it's like, we want you to come play in our community. We want you to show up at JVology Live coming up in June. We want you to do our digital programs. We want you to come and create a business that works. And the best way we can do that is say, hey, let us give to you first, check this out, create value. And then if you want to come play, for goodness sakes, do. So that is, that's the challenge. It's coming up. I guess promos are starting for it right now, but it starts on May 11th and goes to the 15th. So come play again. And by the way, here's a good hint. People like James and people who've done it before always come back, because it's the best way in the universe to get partners. Okay, so that's enough about us and what is coming up. You give us the last word, James, in terms of how people can find you, what you'd like to leave them thinking about, and anything else that's on your heart, mind, and soul.
Okay. So you can always reach me, James, at lookaheadmarketing.com, or you can go to the website, and don't read it too detailed. Again, I need to go through it. But final thing is, I know it's weird. I'd like to give a plug to Jay and Krista and all the team there, because they've been amazing. And I would not be where I am right now without their support and help. So if you're on the fence about joining that JV challenge, take the jump, do it. Meet Charisse Alexander. She will promote you to 10 people anyway. So there's 10 joint venture partners anyways.
I love that woman.
I do too. But folks, take the jump sometimes.
Very cool. All right, my friends. So all of James's links are in the chat window. Go and check it out. Share it with your tribe. If you need assistance in any of that digital marketing world, reach out and we will see you soon. All right, brother, that is it. We are out for the day. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you taking the time, and we will see you soon.
Thanks, everybody. It's been great.
Okay, take care, brother. There we go. And